again, everyone. I'm Mary Fielder at Great Light Rising. Welcome to my podcast. Today, we're talking about directing consciousness with deliberate intent. I'm going to give you some ways that you can redirect your consciousness out of a negative thought pattern into a higher vibrational state. And at the end of the video, I'll give you some ways for getting back to sleep if you wake up in the middle of the night with worry and anxiety. Let's go.
Most of us in the metaphysical or spiritual space have heard one or both the following maxims. Energy flows where consciousness goes, or you get more of what you focus on. Many of us are coming from a place where we already understand this, but we are still asking the question, how exactly am I supposed to do that? It's all well and good to float these metaphysical concepts out there, but putting them into practice is another matter. When things start to go wrong in our life, often through no fault of our own, it's really hard to stay positive. In this episode, I'm going to give you several ways that you can bring yourself back from a negative consciousness spiral. What do I mean by that? A negative consciousness spiral is when you find yourself steeped in worry, and that energy of worry keeps attracting to you more and more things to worry about. Here's a scenario. Tracy has a sleepless night because she has to give an important presentation at work, and she's nervous about it. Not nervous because she doesn't know her stuff. Nervous because talking in public is not her thing. She stays awake all night worrying about messing up, and then people will think she's stupid. So she wakes up on the day of the presentation after a rough night, tossing and turning, and now she's tired and anxious. She makes coffee but forgets to put the filter in the machine. So she has to clean up the mess, and now she's running out of time. She determines to pick some up on the way to work, but there's a really long line at the coffee drive-thru. She decides to skip it, but that means she needs to back out of the drive-thru, and as she tries to do that, she accidentally bumps the car in front of her. The day goes downhill from there. We've all had those days. This is a negative consciousness spiral. We feel as if the universe is picking on us, and everything that can go wrong does go wrong. In reality, we are attracting negative things to us because our frequency has dropped. We know we are supposed to maintain a higher frequency by staying upbeat and positive, but some days it simply doesn't work. So how do we get out of that? Let's talk about some ways to break a negative consciousness spiral and move yourself into a high vibration without forcing it. At the end of the video, I'll give you some ways to get back to sleep when worry or anxiety play on your mind and keep you up. But first, let's get into some general tips that apply at any time of day. The first way I'm going to talk about we'll call anchoring gratitude. This involves creating specific daily practices that anchor you in appreciation, even during times of difficulty. When I say creating a daily practice, I don't mean spending time in meditation or carving out a slice of precious time in your already highly pressurized day. I mean simply remembering to notice when even a very small thing goes right or makes you happy. It could be anything from a red light turning green as you approach, a child in the supermarket giving you a shy smile, making the perfect cup of coffee, finding a forgotten $10 bill in your coat pocket. You get the idea. Being thankful for small, immediate things keeps you in the moment and anchors gratitude and appreciation, high vibration emotions. When you do that several times a day, it is easier to avoid those days when everything goes wrong. Another technique you can use to break the negative consciousness spiral is by asking yourself a pivot question. When you catch yourself spiraling downwards, stop and take a breath. Ask yourself, what's one thing going right in this exact moment? A micro shift that doesn't invalidate the struggle, but creates space for coexisting truth. You will still have to sort out whatever is going wrong, but you can avoid descending into chaos where you find yourself yelling at the universe. When you acknowledge something that's going right, even something very small, and allowing yourself to smile, and you might even say it out loud to give it extra weight. Yes, something is going well today. Then you are shifting the energy, be it ever so slightly, and giving space for the situation to turn itself around. The next technique I'll call energy hygiene. Just as we nurture our physical body by eating food that is good for us, exercising, taking showers, and so on, we must also nurture our energy body. This means being intentional about what we watch on TV, what we read in the news, how much advertising we expose ourselves to, and so on. In this sense, our mental diet is just as important as our physical diet. We also need to practice, as a matter of routine, maintaining healthy boundaries around how other people treat us, whether we say yes when we really mean no, and whether or not to allow certain people and certain beliefs into our energy field. The human energy field is the first layer of the human immune system. People who study aura science will tell you that everything happens first in the energy field before it happens in the physical body. When we keep our energy clean and free from random debris, then we are much more likely to weather the emotional storms that form part of daily life without allowing them to rock our boat. All difficulties in life are easier to deal with when you come from a place of inner clarity instead of a mind cluttered by external static. Another good way to shift your own energy is by using a technique called somatic shifting. This means using your body to shift your mind. When someone gets into an argument and they suddenly say, "I'm going out for a walk," they are practicing somatic shifting. When you feel like your mind is cluttered, anxious, or in a state of worry, doing something physical will often help you make a mental shift. Whether you choose to clean the house, go for a run, or take a drive to the store, all of these things help to shift you into a different state. If you consciously choose something that brings you joy, you are interrupting negative thought loops and creating new neural pathways. Be mindful with it and stay focused on what you have chosen to do so that you don't sink back into thinking about whatever was making you feel worried. Sometimes it's okay or even important to acknowledge that stuff is going wrong, but we can mitigate the negative spiral by using another technique we'll call the "and" practice. In the "and" practice, you hold two truths simultaneously. This is hard, and I'm finding my way through it. Acknowledging to yourself that something is hard keeps you from suppressing negative emotions within you, while at the same time affirming that you are dealing with it. I just made a mess, and I'm cleaning it up. By taking responsibility for something that just went wrong, even if it's not exactly your fault, you are sending your subconscious the message that there's no reason to feel bad about it because you are cleaning it up. This is a great way to release energy around a stressful situation. Another way to break the negative cycle of worry is by using a technique we can call microvisions. It works like this. Instead of forcing big positive visualizations when you're down, focus on the next right feeling for the next few minutes. Or just think about the one next step that you need to take to make a situation right. This is similar to the approach recommended by Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher, who is attributed the saying, "The longest journey starts with the first step." Ask yourself, can you get through just the next few hours? And then, can you get through just a few more? Can you hang in there just for one day? Tomorrow will be a new day. If things have gone wrong because you missed a goal or failed to achieve an objective, it helps to remember your purpose. This involves reconnecting to your deeper why, the meaning behind your life that transcends current circumstances and naturally elevates your focus beyond temporary struggles. For every situation we find ourselves in, there was a reason why we got there. Being able to visualize yourself ultimately succeeding in the end instead of sinking deep into feeling like a failure can be an important perspective in overcoming challenges and keeping the dream alive. There's an old Chinese proverb that states failure is not falling down but refusing to get up. Another way that we can shift out of worry is to take action. You might not want to solve the whole problem in the immediate moment, but there is always something you can do to create forward momentum. For example, if a situation needs addressing but it's the middle of the night, write yourself a note or set a reminder on your calendar. If you are stewing over needing to do something, the easiest way out of the worry is by doing the thing that needs doing. If you can't do the whole thing, take one step. For example, if your taxes are late and that's keeping you up at night, simply making an appointment with a tax accountant will go a long way to relieving the problem. Now you are on the hook to prepare your paperwork and get the job done. Finally, but perhaps the hardest technique to accomplish, is to stop worrying about other people's problems. Unless you have minor children, you are only responsible for your own life. Even if you are married or share your life with a partner, you cannot be responsible for their feelings or their happiness. Each of us has to find our own way in life. Every one of us receives life challenges that we have to face up to. The end of a relationship, the death of a loved one, being let go at work, rebuilding our life after catastrophe. Each and every one of us has challenges in life to help us grow spiritually. It is not your job to fix someone else, to solve their problems, or to make them happy. If something you do or something you say in good conscience and with integrity makes someone else unhappy, that's on them, not on you. If you didn't act in good conscience or with integrity, you can always apologize. Once you've owned up to your own error, let yourself off the hook, even if they don't. Don't waste your energy worrying about who will be impacted by your actions. You have to do in your life what makes you happy. Their angels are there to help them sort things out, just as your angels are there to help you sort yourself out. Allow their angels to do their job and stop doing it for them. Next, I'll talk about some ways you can get back to sleep when you wake up in the middle of the night. But first, if you are enjoying this episode, please consider leaving me a like and sharing the episode with a friend. Your feedback really encourages me to keep making these videos. Now let's talk about some ways to get back to sleep when you wake up in the middle of the night. We've all been in this situation. You wake up in the middle of the night and check the clock. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. You get up, go to the bathroom, snuggle back down with the intention to go back to sleep. 30 minutes later, you check the clock and realize you haven't fallen back to sleep. You realize your mind is looping back on itself, spinning through worst-case scenarios, worrying about outcomes that might never happen. You know that you should shift your thinking, focus on the positive, and let go of worry, but in the middle of the night when you are tired and weary, it's hard to do. When you are in a state of worry, your nervous system is activated and you may feel tension in your body. You are tired and weary because it's the middle of the night and also because you feel the stress of what you are worrying about. And now things just got compounded with the stress of not being able to sleep. Just the thought of trying to redirect your consciousness creates a whole new layer of frustration. So instead of trying to redirect your thoughts into more positive ones, one trick is just to be where you are. Notice what your body is feeling. Are you hot or cold? Is the bed comfortable? Open your eyes and look around in the dark. Don't get up. Don't give up on sleep. Just lie there noticing. Are there any lights in the room? A night light? Can you hear traffic outside? Focusing on what is going on physically right now in your body and in your space, your bedroom, your environment, are all easy ways to shift your attention. Once you've created even a small gap in the mental chatter, maybe even just 30 seconds of mindful focus on the physical, then you can begin to break the cycle. You can gently introduce what some people call memory grazing. Instead of forcing yourself to visualize some perfect future or manufacture gratitude you don't feel, let your mind wander through pleasant sense memories. The smell of coffee brewing, the feeling of sun on your face, the sound of someone you love laughing, your dog's fur under your hand, or the taste of something delicious. These aren't big happy thoughts. They're tiny, true moments your body remembers as safe and good. If worry intrudes, acknowledge it like a persistent child. I hear you, but there's nothing I can do about that right now. We'll deal with that tomorrow. Then return to the sensory memory, the taste of something delicious, the smell of something mesmerizing. By doing this, pretending your issue doesn't exist, you're just giving your consciousness permission to rest somewhere else for a while, the way you might walk to a different room in a house. The goal isn't to fall asleep because paradoxically, the very pressure of feeling that you have to do that keeps you awake. Instead, you are simply finding a more peaceful place for your mind to be until sleep finds you. Just move into the moment of being awake, but continue to lie in your bed, amusing your mind with pleasant thoughts. Another thing I like to do is to go inside and look through the window, which is my third eye. What's going on out there in the astrals? In the unconscious? In the never land of spirituality? Somewhere around 3 a.m. in the morning, the veil thins and it is easier to see through your third eye. Imagine it like a porthole in a ship or a window in an attic. Rub it off with your sleeve in your imagination until it is clean and clear and you can see through it. Then let your inner focus go soft, as though you are blurring your vision. Direct your inner gaze into the space between your eyes and look through the window. Sometimes you will see things and sometimes not. As long as you are behind the window, you are protected. So don't be afraid. Instead, be curious. This is a fantastic time to practice your psychic vision. Don't worry about being tired for your meeting tomorrow or how to solve your adult child's issues. Just cash in on being awake at this super special time of the night when the veil is thin and see what you can see. But over the course of time, even if it's only now and then, your skill for this psychic seeing will increase. It's free and the opportunity only comes around hopefully once in a while. I invariably fall back to sleep while doing this. And yes, I wake up tired, but sometimes I have the luxury of not having to get up. If that's possible for you, make sure to turn the alarm off before you settle down to being awake in the still of the night and allow yourself to savor the experience. What technique sounds like something you could try? Did one thing resonate more than another? Perhaps you've developed your own techniques for getting back to sleep? Can you share them with us? Drop me a comment and let me know. I love hearing from you. Also, if you are interested in a healing session, I offer Reiki, homeopathy, spiritual mentorship, and biofield tuning. I also offer Reiki classes. You can check my website for more information. I'll link it in the description. And so, that's all I have for you today. Walk in the light, my friend, and stay well until next time.